Being a pastor may look like studying Monday through Saturday sermons on Wednesday and Sunday and outreach every month or every other month, a fun church event here and there, and counseling people in between. And that may be true for the surface. But today, we will look at what lies beneath those surface expectations, the far side of the moon. I just finished my church's vacation Bible school, and we were on the moon if you couldn't tell by the title. And the far side of the moon is mostly never visible if you are looking at it from the earth, but it is there. Without the far side of the moon would not exist. There is a side to ministry that people can't see or understand, but it is still there. I would like to share 3 points: family and relationship, personal care and responsibility, and discouragement and hardships. In ministry, you must always remember your marriage and your family. A key part of my love story reminded me of this. My soon to be fiance, whenever that happens, decided a wedding date for us. And I looked at it and I saw that it was the first day of Vacation Bible School. At that moment, I immediately said, "Oh no, we can't possibly get married that day. It's the week of VBS." And at this point, nothing was set on the calendar. The church didn't have a specific week when it was perfect to do VBS, but my mind went straight to ministry before marriage. At that moment, my boyfriend looked saddened by my response and even began to contemplate if he had chose a bad date. That date was our anniversary day. I tried to jump through hoops. Well, why not get married on the same day when we first said I love you? Or do I really want to get married on a Monday? And so on. Then the Lord tugged my heart and reminded me that I must care for my relationship and learn how to prioritize. Yes, for those who are called to leadership, you have responsibilities. You have a church calendar. You have things that need to be cared for outside of the home. But we still have to take care of our marriages, families, and personal relationships. In 1 Timothy chapter 3, verse 4 through 5, it says he must manage his own family well, having children who respect and obey him. For if a man cannot manage his own household, how can he take care of God's church? See, don't fake this life. If things are bad at home, take time to care for your house. We need to be mindful of that, because if we can't care for the family the Lord has blessed us with, then the church family, which is part of the body of Christ, the Lord has entrusted to us, will suffer. We are called to take care of what God gave us, and too often you'll hear stories of pastors who seem to be doing well on the outside, but their lives were falling apart on the inside. Another important part of caring for the far side of the moon is our personal devotion time and our personal relationship with God. This is a responsibility we have. The Lord has given us so many ways to build relationship with him. Time and time again, you see the Lord wanting relationship with his children. Why is it that sometimes we can take that for granted? Well, I will give the age-old excuse. People just don't have enough time. Let's not forget in the book of Joshua, chapter 10, where we read about the Battle of Ai. Joshua and the Israelites, they were conquering the Amorites, but they needed more time. They surprise attacked them, and Joshua, led by the Spirit, said, "Lord, let the sun and moon stand still where they are." And the Lord did. They were running out of time to keep the surprise attack, and the Lord gave them their own extension on time. Why do we need a personal devotion time? Why do we need to keep our own personal care in check? Why do we need to take a vacation? Because we have a great responsibility. The Lord has called us to care for his children. He has asked us to shine our lights. He has asked us to counsel those in need. He has called us to disciple and make disciples. We can't do that if we are 3 days away from burnout. We can't do that if we are hurting on the inside. Hurt people hurt people. Our messages can become diluted with our own hurts. Our counseling sessions can become the downfall of someone else's life. We need to care for ourselves because we have to care for others. I would never want to be treated by a doctor who's sick with COVID, or maybe a doctor who's bleeding internally and constantly in pain. Their own crippling pain would raise concern in the midst of my crippling pain. I would want them to be taken care of and have another doctor treat me. As pastors and leaders in ministry, our hurt could infect an entire church body and even our community. As we close, I want you to consider this last part very carefully. in John chapter 15, verses 18 and 19. If the world hates you, know that it has hated me before it hated you. If you were of the world would love its own. But I chose you out of the world. Therefore, the world hates you. This world will never love us, meaning that the words we hear at times will be hurtful. The struggles of our everyday life and balancing it with ministry and family can begin to wear us down. We can make mistakes, fall short, and live life with guilt and anxiety. It can lead us to think things we were never meant to think, to do things we never wanted to do. The enemy sees the ones who the Lord has called and knows he can't hurt them, but he will try with all his might to bring us down, any means necessary. We must truly seek help if it is needed. Others have made the mistake of acting out, walking away from this faith, and even taking their own lives. Discouragement is real. People are going to say things that hurt us. We must be willing to work through that hurt and seek help for ourselves if that's needed. We will face hard times and many, many struggles. Paul told us that, but we also must know that when we truly need help and we seek counsel, we seek fellowship, we seek true help, and most importantly, we seek God, he will lead us in the way to go during those hard times. Never feel like leading means you can't seek help. There is a side to ministry that some do not understand, but that also means a few people do understand it. Ask them to help you through your darkest times. These are just a few helplines you can contact if you are feeling overwhelmed with this life of ministry.